Big Al's Rant with Cayden McFarland, powered by Jack Cassee Ford.
And welcome to the Rant, everybody, with Cayden McFarland and Al Jerkins. We're at halftime of the Colts and Pats game, and we've got a lot to talk about again today. Obviously, Oklahoma getting a win at Texas Tech. It wasn't the most impressive thing we've ever seen.
No.
This is what I'm picturing at halftime in the OU locker room. Bob Stoops coming in, steaming, and putting his foot down and saying, we are not going to throw a pass in the second half. Run the football. Period.
Hopefully that's what happened. Yeah. All's well that ends well. Better late than never, all that kind of stuff. It makes no sense to me.
18 passes in the first half.
3 of them interceptions with a freshman quarterback who, I mean, let's be honest, this kid ain't Jameis Winston. And you just go down there to Lubbock where it's windy and just start chucking it around everywhere when you've got a ground game that, just ran for not a school record, but a Stoops-era record a couple weeks ago against Iowa State. And more importantly, you're playing the worst rush defense I have ever laid eyes on in Big 12 football.
This should have been OU versus Colorado in the Switzer era where they didn't throw a single pass. Should have been 80 runs. Now, I want to ask you guys a question. If Texas Tech's touchdown that would have made it 28-14 does not get called back in the third quarter because of holding, is Josh Huepel going to throw the football more?
Probably. He likes throwing the football.
He's
an old quarterback.
Is it a stubborn streak?
I think it's what he's comfortable with. He was kind of an air raid guy when he was in school. He's a quarterback. He's a passing quarterback. He's had passing quarterbacks in the past, and it's clearly pretty tough for him to adjust to this team, which has got to be far more ground-oriented. My question, they've lost 3 games now, so this season already, regardless of how it finishes, this season has been a disappointment. Would you get rid of Josh Huepel? A lot of fans out there would like to see that happen in the offseason.
I know that. This one, even though OU won this game, this play calling in the first half was more confusing to me than at any point that Josh Huepel's been the offensive coordinator, because this one made no sense. And we're not going to sit here and say we get paid to be coaches or that we're X's and O's experts.
We're paid to rant.
But we're paid to rant, and we're paid to observe, and we're paid to read stats. And we saw that Texas Tech is absolutely pathetic against the run. And OU's running game with Ford back is pretty good. P. Ryan's a stud.
Look at that throw.
So they're throwing the football. Oh my God! It was mind-boggling. It was mind-boggling. OU still wins the game. This game should not have been close.
Credit to the defense, which didn't have a great day, but did hang in there in the second half. Credit to the running game. Samaje P. Ryan, 213 yards and 3 touchdowns. Looked a lot like he did against West Virginia. Against teams that can't tackle, Samaje P. Ryan is Adrian Peterson.
I think
the comparison falls short elsewhere, I think.
I'm not in favor of firing coaches that have been successful overall and have been able to, for the most part, develop quarterbacks. Because they are good at that.
Play devil's advocate.
The stubbornness has got to end. Has got to stop. And something happened at halftime. Someone told them, the light finally went off, that we've got to run the football to win this football game. They were trailing 21-7 to the worst team, arguably, in the conference right now.
Worst defense in the country.
Okay.
Let me say this to answer my own question quickly. If they had a Justin Blackmon and a Brandon Whedon waiting in the wings, I probably, might cut Huepel. And go looking for somebody to run an air raid or something like that. But I'm not sure I see that. And for continuity purposes, Knight coming back, Mayfield coming back, I guess I'd ride it out with Huepel. Let's see what he does against Kansas, right? Well, not out of the woods yet.
It would also have been different had Cody Thomas showed promise throwing the football.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
He was 1 for 8 against Iowa State. His release is slow as molasses. All right, well, at least OU scored some points.
Right, yeah.
Now, as we make the transition
OSU would take their problem
from this highlight
no doubt
to last night's highlight,
yeah.
And OSU is about as bad on offense right now as we have ever seen it. Senior night, last home game, chance to be bowl eligible.
Down he goes.
It was absolutely disgraceful on offense. I felt sorry for the defense. They had the first 3 possessions with 3 and outs. Then they got their 1 first down, and then there were 3 more possessions without a first down, 3 and out. They had. Now we're going to take a look at these stats. This is Texas scoring a touchdown, which already put it away.
Yeah, ball game. 7-0. It's over.
Let me. Okay, OSU's offense right now, 3 touchdowns in the last 18 quarters of play. You realize that's 4.5 football games.
That's not good.
They had a minus 10 yards rushing, thanks to the sacks in part, but still it was pathetic. Minus 10 yards rushing in the first half. 69 total offensive yards in 3 quarters.
Not good.
2 first downs in the first half, 2 of 13. I was surprised this stat was this good.
Yes.
2 of 13
that
third
is
down
surprisingly
conversions.
good.
And when asked, we've been asking Mike Gundy to try to explain this, and he keeps coming back to the young offensive line. They made some adjustments on the offensive line last night. That didn't help one iota. This offense is about as stagnant as it's ever been since Bob Simmons was head coach.
And the crazy thing about it is the 3 touchdowns in their last 18 quarters, that comes on the heels of a streak where they went 58 games scoring at least 20 points per game. 3 touchdowns is 20 points. They've scored 20 points of offense basically in 18 quarters.
Cayden, I don't know what to make of it. I really don't.
Usage is gone.
Well,
I mean,
the offensive line
gotta be a
coach,
foregone
you
conclusion.
anticipate a possible change.
Only been here a year.
Yursich has been here 2 years now. They did, play pretty well last year and they did well with Shelf. So I don't know. I think a change, a shakeup, a mix-up is going to
Meanwhile,
happen.
in Austin, Wickline's group is getting better and better, and Texas looks like a team that now they're bowl eligible, and to me, might be able to knock off TCU. TCU's got a whole lot of pressure on them. That game's in Austin.
I would love to say that Texas. Well, no, I wouldn't want to say love because I don't like Texas.
Yeah, you don't like Texas.
But what I'm thinking is I don't want to make too much out of Texas's performance last night because OSU is playing at an all-time low.
Yeah.
They made Swoops look like an All-American last night, and that has to stop too. But can Texas beat TCU? I don't see it happening.
OSU going 5-7, pretty much a foregone conclusion.
Yes.
Don't see any chance they beat Baylor or OU.
No, I got to tell you, Bedlam may be a little closer because OU. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What they barely beat Texas Tech.
We got nothing to be excited. Our 3 teams combined, 14-16 on the year. That's the worst winning percentage for the Sooner State team since 2001.
Oh my goodness.
2001.
We haven't even gotten started on the TU stuff, and I don't even know if we want to bring it up because we have other stuff we want to talk about. Now, do we want to get our top 4
Yeah, quickly get our
right
top
now?
4, and we'll go short in the next break. So here's Cayden's top 4. I got Florida State number 1. I respect that streak. I put Alabama 2, even though, gosh, LSU had them beat, and Arkansas could have defeated the Crimson Tide. But they're kind of the only ones that play defense, so I put them at 2. Oregon 3, a lot of good wins. I put Ohio State at 4, and that's kind of the surprise. I just think they're playing really, really well. Resume not as good. Playing in the Big Ten, they haven't knocked off a whole bunch of great people. But to me, they look like the 4th best team in the country.
I don't know. I think your 5, 6, 7, and 8 would all beat Ohio State. Okay, my list is almost the same. I've got TCU in the playoffs, and I've got Mississippi State knocking on the door, and I have Ohio State 6. So it's kind of the same. We both have had Florida State number 1 for the past
month we've been riding that train
since the selection committee thing will come out. So we'll find out on Tuesday night.
Kansas' performance doesn't knock TCU down for you?
No.
Keep them in there?
I don't know. Did you happen to? I guess
they've won every game but one, and the one they lost, they were up 21 in Waco, which is a tough place to win.
And I still think the jury's out on how tough the Pac-12 is because of last night's Arizona State loss at Oregon State.
Sure.
Go figure that Oregon State would do Oregon some favors.
I told you last week Arizona State wasn't any good because I saw how poorly Notre Dame played against them. It turns out Notre Dame's not any good either.
I'm sorry.
Nobody's any good.
And neither are my New York Football Giants.
That's right.
5 interceptions.
5 interceptions. Eli's coming.
All right, we need to take a break. We want to talk a little basketball, in particular the Mayor's Cup, and some thoughts about TU's attitude. We'll be right back.
Jack Cassey Ford is having their model year-end sale. You'll find a new 2014 F-150 Super Crew XLT, V8 Auto Tow, Sync 18-inch rims, and chrome package now $29,995. Jack Cassey Ford's model year-end sale.
What a dealer should be, Jack Cassey Ford.
They've seen all the commercials, so which toys will be their most loved this holiday season? Our panel of experts tested this year's hottest new holiday gifts. See the top toys, plus the winner, which is under $1, tonight at 10.